I want to get into this question right here. Let me go ahead and open this like this. All right, this is from an anonymous source. All right, like that. All right, so this is a whole thing right here, right? And this is to jiu-jitsu. So any females out there that are really looking to do something and like get into a martial arts, I always strongly recommend jiu-jitsu. You know, like that.
Facts.
It's there's nothing that can beat it for sure.
No cap.
It's a very awkward, ice breaking, kind of martial arts to get into, just for the fact that you don't know the people when you're getting in there, and it's a very tough thing. You can ask Lynn. Lynn, you've talked about it before and stuff like that. But if you honestly stick to your roots, and tell of why you even showed up and why you want to do this stuff, there's nothing better than jiu-jitsu. The positions that you go through there and stuff, as awkward it is in the beginning, like that, to just really gain the confidence and the power to know that you can hold your own and control somebody, or help yourself. God forbids if anything really happens, like you could really save your life one day with this stuff. And so like that. And so the question right here, to see if you okay, let's see, blah blah blah. Okay, I like the sport, meaning that jiu-jitsu. I want to be more consistent, even competing. However, I have a very big mental block. That's what the person was telling me right now. I was assaulted as a kid, and every time that I was found myself pinned down, or I was about to be pinned down, my body just freezes. I start to panic, and I don't feel like I start to panic, and I don't like that feeling. All right, it makes me feel weak, and like a little girl, couldn't defend myself. Once I feel that I don't want to come back to class, even though once I feel that way, I don't want to come back to class, even though I finish class, like that. So if you have any tips on how I can overcome, I would really appreciate it, because I'm at a point where I just don't want to. I don't want to give up, but I don't like the feeling, and I want to cry, like that. All right, so. To this person, all right, especially again, so what I just finished saying right now, it's one of the best sports that I can highly recommend for any female, anybody, like that. Period. Mm-hmm. But for females, like that, just for the single fact that the positions that you're put in and stuff like that are, it's sad to say, but these are more likely the positions that you're gonna probably be assaulted in. Like that. And so with someone like this that is traumatized, and is scared, to even give it a try, because it's very intimidating. It's a male dominated sport at that. So like you're walking into a room, and you're going to be the only female in the class, and like that, or you probably only have one or two, in there, like that. My recommendation, or what I would say to that person is that, okay, again, let's stay true to our gun, of why you're even here, like that. And you're assaulted and you're a victim, all right. And the number one thing right now is that, hey, you need to build some type of confidence, and the number one thing is to regain that power,
right?
And so what I mean by that is that, until you overcome your fears, your stressors, your panics, and everything like that, whoever, is out there that did this to you is always going to hold that power. Like that, and you have to tell yourself and overcome the, this fear and this stress and this trauma, and regain that power, and, show to yourself that you can do this, all right, that you are strong, all right, that you are confident to go out there and know what you're doing, and be controlled, and not only neutralize a situation, but you can take over the situation, and for sure, finish it if you have to, like that. And so, it just it's one of those things that, you just put the time in the mat, and things like that. Even even for anybody that's new and things like that, they get in a panic because they don't know how to control their breathing and things like that. It's not every day that you have a stranger or anybody on top of you, trying to pin you down and control you and things like that. And being a newbie and not knowing anything. All right, that's everybody, in the start of in their jiu-jitsu journey, from the white belt. And the name of the game for a white belt, and anybody will tell you that's been doing it long enough, is survive. Just survive. You know what I mean? So you were in a survival situation, all right, and you were traumatized. Now you're putting yourself in that stressful survival, situation again. But now you're getting to learn, so you can start to apply, if this ever happens to you again.
I do you one better.
Go ahead.
So overcoming the fear, like, there's two different ways to do it. You could just jump in the deep end of the pool and maybe you drown, maybe you don't. Or you can do small steps.
Yeah.
Walk down a step, walk down a step, walk down a step. And if you're going to learn jiu-jitsu, I say walk down a step, walk down a step, walk down a step. And here's what I mean by that. So first thing I would do is, if you feel uncomfortable being pinned down, then you need to start with somebody that you feel comfortable with. And what I mean by that is, if you have, if you're coming to 365, you come to 365, it doesn't have to be anything major. You come in, you pull Eric aside and say, listen, here's what I'm doing. Here's what I have this trauma. So because of that, me and my friend are going to sign up. Eric doesn't have to tell anybody in the gym, but this is the reason why A and B always train together. Yeah. Because the first thing that you do is you're starting to adapt to being in that situation, and it's somebody that you're already comfortable with, so you don't feel that, so that the body freeze doesn't come.
Right.
And then after you do that, once you expand from there, then you take another step down, and that next step is to start expanding it to other people in the class. But this time, when you expand it to other people in the class, if you and again, anonymous. So let's say it's a man, and his attacker was a female, then you only roll with men. You don't roll with the female, or vice versa, until you get ready for the next step. And now, okay, my attacker was a woman, but she was, a 350-pound Hispanic woman. So now you don't roll with any 350-pound Hispanic women. Yeah. And then you just go little by little. You're still allowing yourself to learn, and each time you're overcoming one of those hurdles until now you can't. And it's the reason that you're here that gets you there, and you're just step by step by step. And before you know it, you're in the deep water, and you got this 350-pound Hispanic woman in a omoplata, and you're like, you remember that time when I was a kid? You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't snap her shoulder.
I was about to say, and then you snap her shoulder.
Right. But that's the way, But it's good to do in small chunks, because it really is like the first time that somebody sweats in your mouth, bro, it's weird.
Yeah. That's just besides the fact.
So you have to get used to all these things.
Itself is a whole other thing.
You have to get used to all these things.
Stepping on the mat,
Yeah.
How about yourself, Lynn? What would you tell this person?
I had everything that you guys have mentioned is exactly how it happened for me. I've been through some things, and it was really hard getting into jiu-jitsu because I would have a panic attack, or I'd just start crying every time I would have to work with a guy, or I'd have to work with somebody that was bigger than me. I think I got really lucky with this gym, though, because when I first started, there were a few females that did the class here and there. It was always constantly alternating and stuff like that. But for the most part, I had to learn how to roll with men. And it was hard, going through the motions and feeling what I was feeling. And, long ride, the car ride home, I was crying. During my rolls, I would have a panic attack, or, I would feel some type of way, run to the locker room, and I would have to catch my breath because I was embarrassed. Even though I had nothing to be embarrassed about, and neither does this person, all those feelings are going to come. If I didn't keep showing up, though, if I didn't have the supportive coach, team members, people to be able to confide in and be able to say, hey, can we take it easy this time, because I'm trying to, and I would work on my breathing. I was able to work on my mind. Controlling the mind was the biggest thing for me that I still go through, but I'm able to do it because I found the space to do it, and people allowed me to they gave me the space to do it. You find a lot of people that question you too much, or they push you out, or they're like, this person doesn't want to roll with me. You don't even know what this person's going through, or what it is that the steps that they're taking to be able to be comfortable in the sport that we're all doing. And so all of those things, getting the exposure, little by little, I am one of those people that I do like to rip the Band-Aid off, and I'm just like, hey, I'm just going to go and do it. Regardless of how it affects me, I'll at least know how it affects me, and I'll deal with it the next time. And it gets better and better and better every single time. Definitely start off with somebody who you trust. Hey, can you show up there during this? Or what days are you available? Can I work with you with just this, though? Because this is all I can handle at the moment. Anybody that denies that is crazy, because you want to see that person succeed. Right. You want them to get to where they need to be. Being able to control your emotions, your mind, and taking that power back, that you can allow yourself to feel confident, to feel that you can do something. Give that back to yourself, because you can do it. You can definitely do it.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you when, because I remember, when you first stepped on and stuff like that, and it was just a weird thing, and obviously, I didn't want to push you hard like that, but now, 2+ years going in now, and you're a blue belt, and now you're rolling with the guys, and obviously dominating some of these other guys on the mat and stuff like that. There's a huge change.
Huge change. I'm not going to say that those triggers ever stopped. Every now and then, it doesn't happen as often, but for sure, even now, there have been times where I'll be in the middle of a roll for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. Maybe it's the position, maybe it was the force, maybe it was something. It will trigger me, and I have these moments where I'm like, but I can control it. That's something I'd never been able to do before. I need to stop. And I couldn't uncontrollably start crying or shaking, and that doesn't happen to me anymore. And I can definitely self-soothe myself and just say, hey, we're good. We're in a safe space. He doesn't know anything that's going on. Right. Actually, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know. Whatever is happening is internal, and I'm able to control it to be able to tell myself, we're good, we're okay, let's move forward. And moving forward is actually the best feeling.
You started a place with people, started a place with the head instructor that you can trust. Yeah. And let them know what's going on. Yeah. Because it could be that, when 365 was smaller, Eric would pick people, and he would just roll with this person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? At Pablo's, when a new person comes in and it's their first day, Pablo picks certain people to roll with the new people in the gym, because I know you're gonna make them feel something, but not try to kill them. And you need to have that. You need to have that type of, like, that needs to be a thing. And if you're going through a traumatic experience, or trying to come out of a traumatic experience, you're only going to get out of that if people know. And they can help you work through it. Yeah. You can't help somebody work through something that you don't know. If you don't know that somebody got behind you and choked you from behind, then there's nothing you can do about it. And there are different names that we have for chokes in jiu-jitsu that you'll call them, that can be super offensive to somebody if you don't know. Yeah. And there's one I'm thinking about, I'm gonna call it the Wagner Rocha choke. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't know, but if you know, then I'm just not going to try this on this person because I know that it could be a trigger. So, I feel like as much as, someone that is new trying to go in, whether you're male or female, especially a female, since we are on this topic right now, I think when you're seeking out, gyms that you want to train with and stuff like that, some big red flags that you should look for like that is that if it's your first day and then they're automatically making you roll with everybody, things like that. And I mean, make sure that and then so
I strongly recommend, like, if this is something that, be upfront, behind closed doors with the coach and things like that, talking to them, so they understand where you're at and where you want to be at, where your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish, like that. And then at that, leave it at that. And then from there, from the coach, it's on the coach, to make sure that he puts you in situations to take those step by steps that Jules was talking about, like that. If there's not another female in the class, guess what? That professor, should step up and be the only one that's working with you, sure. Because they are the authority figure on the mat at the time, like that. But then more likely, if you have a solidified gym and things like that, that professor is more likely gonna have a to-go person. Hey, you know what? This is a person that you're going to train with only, like that. I trust them, like that. And then you're going to get the best, and little by little, like that, and you're talking about, okay, step by step,
right.
Where you're only going to skills days, all right? You're
right.
Not,
you shouldn't be going to roll days.
Yeah, you're not going to roll days or dropping in on a Saturday for comp class.
Right.
All right? Because those are the step-by-step things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that. And even, and honestly, like what Jules was talking about too, is that, okay, more likely, if you know that you're going through this and you're trying to take your power back and get out of it, come out of a traumatized situation like that, like, try to bring a friend or a family member.
Absolutely.
Like that. It's always great to to be with a buddy like that and to stay in your comfort zone until you can step out of that, where you have to force yourself to grow, when you're finally getting gaining the confidence and the skills and everything like that. And then you're finally, okay, now I want to roll with her, right? Okay, I'm rolling with her and like that. Now I want to roll with him, like that,
right.
And so that's a big step, it's going to take a while, like that. And hopefully, within that, 2 to 3 year period, where, okay, you're making the jump from white to blue belt, you should already kind of be there already,
right.
Like that. I don't think I know any blue belt females that aren't confident, like that. I think when you get to that point, like, man, like, enough, and like, and again, it just goes back to that question that I've asked you in the first episode, I believe, like, if you go to a party, how confident were you? And then go back to that same party, how confident are you?
Yeah.
Like that, but you're
I'm
a blue belt.
people out. That's what's up.
She's in the corner. If only these people knew that.
I am that meme. The ground is my ocean.
Yeah. but no, that's that absolutely, man. And it's not just for solid purposes, like you said earlier. That's everybody. Everybody's first thing. It doesn't manifest itself the same way. But when people first come in jiu-jitsu, and it's the first thing, and let's say it's somebody who hasn't been traumatized at all, but the first time you pin them down, they freak out. Yeah. They start trying to bench press you, like it go 100% panic mode. And it's not even there. It's Muay Thai too. Like, you hit somebody in the face with a jab, and then all of a sudden their windmill punches coming. It's like, bro, what are you doing? We're not in front of fucking CVS.
I had to talk
like,
about
throw a regular punch.
I had to talk about this the other day. I mean, going with a white belt, a newbie white belt, anybody would tell you, like, it's way more dangerous than going against a veteran black belt or something like that. People think like, oh, this black belt's gonna kill me. Nah, that white belt's gonna kill me.
Right. Like that. You want to blow your ACL? Pick that white belt over there. You're just gonna blow
like that. And that's a real thing, and it's very scary, like that. Especially for me, I know I'm the mat enforcer the majority of times in my class, like that, and to go with them, like, I don't give white belts no slack at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's the one-way ticket to the hospital. If you do something to them, they panic because they're acting out of pure instinct.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not out of control. It's out of instinct.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what I tell people is that, it's like a cobra, all right? A baby cobra, all right? When they out of instinct, they're gonna unload all their venom.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that. As for a veteran, older cobra or something like that, a venomous snake, they do just enough what needs to be done to neutralize.
Right.
Like that, because they don't know if another attacker's coming. So hey, if you empty the bottle, like
that, now you out. I'm done.
Like you empty the clip.
I'm just a worm now.
You're done.
At this point, I'm done.
Right? If it only takes 2 or 3 shots, that's it. You know what I mean? You got to save the other, for whoever might be coming after that. you know. And so that's what the black belt does, you know what I mean? He does just enough to know to get the result or the desired result.
Yes.
Right.
Like that. So for sure.